Hello. This dashboard has been created for a gadgets company. Inside this dashboard, on the top, there are multiple KPIs reported. On the bottom, the sales by product details have been shown. On the right side, top selling products features will change based upon the filters which we will be selecting on left. So if I select 2026, you can in January, you can see that Series 13 was our top selling product and its revenue was $3 million. Similarly, if we select February, our smart earpods was top selling product, and corresponding to this selection, entire net sales margin distribution system product details will keep on changing. We can also filter and find the same details through our location. So if we select Americas, in Americas, Series Pro was highest selling product and its revenue was $8.4 million. So I hope you liked it, and I will let you know how to create an entire Excel dashboard. So let's start creating our dashboard for gadgets company. For that purpose, we will create a new tab, and the name of the tab would be dashboard. At this moment, we don't need this grid line, so we go to view and we remove the grid lines. As well as we don't need these headings, so we remove the headings. Now the color of this background we need, so we go to more colors. Inside the custom colors, we will write our preferred color, which will be #E7, E8, ED, and now the background color has been changed. We need a circle, so we will go and create a circle. Let's make it exactly aligned, so make its size around 2 and 2, as you can see. And we don't need the outline, so we remove the outline. Also, we need to fill its color as exactly the background of our canvas. Now we need to format the shape. For formatting the shape, we need to go to our, I can say, shadow parts, or inside the shadow we need to create a preset. Right now we will be creating a preset of bottom right, as you can see. After that, we need to insert the color. At this moment, we will be using a little bit gray shade of color, so it will be hash, I can say, hash A1, A5, B9, and press enter. You can see this has become a little darker shades below the circle. Now we need to have the transparency at 60%. This is good, size is good, and we need to increase the blur to make it around 20 points. Also, the angle is 45 degree, which is good, and we need to improve the distance, so this distance will increase the shadow beyond the circle, as you can see. Once we have done that, we need to do the similar kind of things, but on the top left of the circle. Now we cannot put the same features on two sides of a circle, so we create a copy of the circle, and inside that copy we again go to settings. At this moment, our settings preset is as you can see, this is on the same side and the same color. Now the color which we need to have here is white, so I have converted it to white. Transparency is 60%. We need to reduce the transparency because this is too bright, which we don't want at the moment, so let's make it 25%. Size 100% is good, blur 20 is good. Angle, we need to make it on the top left, so instead of 45 degree angle, let's make it 225, because 180 degree plus 45 degree will make it 225, which will be on the top left. Similarly, the distance of 15 is quite good. And once we do that, let's go and put the circle on the first circle itself. Once we do that, let's go and select both of the circles. Let me just select both of them. We selected them, and inside the shape format, let's go and align them. So let's go and align on the middle and then align on the center as well, and create the shape as a group. So we created an entire group for this particular shape. Once we have done that, let's create an inner circle. So we create a copy, and we don't need the one circle, so I just delete that. Inside this circle, we need to improvise it. So we wanted to make as an inner circle, so we choose a shadow which is inner shadow, as you can see. So this is the inner top shadow. Now inside this inner top shadow, the color which we need to select is already we have taken that previously, so it's again the hash, I can say A1, A5, B9, and the color has been selected. Based on that, our transparency, let's make it to around 60%. Our blur, let's make it to 20 points, because this gives a more inside edge blur effect. Our angle 225 degrees is good, and distance, let's make it to as I can say 15 points. Once we have done that, we need to change and improvise its gradient. So we go to the fill, and we go to fill, and then we go to gradient fill. Inside the gradient fill, we want it to be linear, so that's linear already selected. The direction of the gradient we want, so instead of selecting the direction of the gradient, let's do one thing first, that the gradient direction should be top left bottom. As you can see, we will update it once required. So we remove the first gradient, we remove the second gradient. Now let's fill the color inside these gradients. So the first gradient color should be matching to our background, which is, I said, hash E7 E8 ED. Now the first gradient has been changed. Similarly, the second gradient's color is white, which I have selected now. The position of these gradients should be on the 100%, and the middle gradient, let's make its position to 50%. Once we have done that, other details are looking quite good, and this direction we will select it based upon our impact of circle. So we just reduce the size of circle, and let's make it a complete circle shape. So let's make it 1.5 here, 1.5 as well. Now we put it on the current circle here. Once you see that, this is giving us an impact of a donut chart or donut circle, but with a very calming image. Now let's try to have the direction of gradient change, and let's see what happens. So if I do this, which is already there, if I improve the next one, you can see it is again giving the circle impact. If I do the bottom right to the left, you can see it's creating the circle, but not that much effective. So I do a Control Z, and now this is looking like a circle. So let me just increase its size, because we just need the edges of the circle. So let me just increase it a little bit more. Now let's make its format as, let's make it as 1.74 as well. And now let's make these two images align together. So we go to shape, and inside shape, on the align center and align middle. Now this looks a very beautiful circle. Once we have done that, let's group these two images together, or we have done the grouping of images here. After this grouping, we need to put our data points inside this circle. So we will go to our raw data. Inside our raw data, we will create a pivot table. We don't need these background lines, so we remove the grid lines. Now inside the pivot table, we select our products, and also we select our net sales. We will also require our margins, so I write net margins as well. Now let's do one thing. Let's convert the format of these data to dollars, which is our currency. After selecting this, we will be doing a A3 here to make a same, I can say exactly same table, just like above. It is just that our reference would be given through this table which I am creating, and I will let you know the reason for this later on. Now let's reduce the decimal points, and let's convert it to dollars as well. Fine. Let's have the border. Once we are having the border, let's create the border at other places as well. The border has been created. Now we don't need to show these grand totals, so I'm going to design and grand totals of rows and columns. Now you can simply see that we are having our net sales and net margins. We want to show our total net sales and net margins, so I just have a sum here and sum here. You can see these are our net sales and net margins. We go to our dashboard and we do an insert. Inside insert, we go to shapes and insert a text box. Inside this text box, we need to bring our, I can say, total net sales, which you can see. We don't need the shape filled, so we remove the fill. We don't need the outline, so we remove the outline. Now we need to show the color of this font. The color of this font will be matching to our theme, so I have selected that. Once that is selected, we will go to text fill, and inside the text fill, I can go as more fill colors and custom, and based upon that, I just change the color. Now let's increase its size, and it's now 11. Let's make it to 22, and let's put it inside the circle, but the color is still not that good. Let's go and make it a little lighter. I'm not sure why it was not selected previously. So let's fill the color, go to customs, and fill the hex color. Now this is looking good, and instead of 22, let's make it 24. Now once we have created that, we also need to create the name of this parameter. So this is our net sales, and let's increase the size of this box. Let's make these boxes details in the centrally aligned manner, and let's put the reduce the size of this description to around, I can say, 18. Let's put the numeric value of sales inside the circle. Let's have the net sales inside the circle as well. And now let's change the net sales format. So we go to format shape, we go to text option. Inside text option, we go to gradient fill, and let's fill our gradient. The first color I have selected for gradient, and the second color I have selected for gradient, which you can see, and this is giving a beautiful effect of gradients inside this particular circle and showing our net sales. Once we have done that, let's select all of these three images, and let's make it little bit on here. Let's make the sales little bit below. Now once we have done that, let's insert some icons representing our sales. So we go here, and for sales we will be selecting money as the icon, and we go and select these monetary values as the icon. Now let's go to these graphics and let's convert to them shape. Now these have been converted to shapes, so we go to our format shapes, and let's have a gradient fill, and inside the gradient fill we will have the same gradient fill which we have done for our net sales. Now these looks good, and let's have the sales below here, and this gradient of net sales here, let's make our net sales little bit below here, and our sales number here. Now this looks good. Once we have done that, let's select all of our elements inside this particular shape, and let's group them together. So we have grouped them, and we can move it, but our wait, this has missed to be selected. Now let's go and select, wait for a second. Yes, so these have been grouped together. Now we need to create the similar lines of other parameters as well. Before doing that, let's go here and go to our pivot table analyzer and insert a slicer. We need a slicer for year, so we just select that, cut that, and bring it to here. Now if we select 2024, 2025, 2026, you can see that all the data points of sales keeps on changing. So now let's try to create our another KPI. For that, I will copy our previous KPI, and I press Control C, Control V, and this has been created. We want to show our net margins here, so we write it as net margin, and we need to change the amount and this icon. So firstly I go to icon and delete it, and then let's go to insert and insert icon. Inside that we can go and put a symbol just like for money again, or I can say margin, but margin doesn't bring anything, so we write it as money, and inside money let's put it as the symbol. We took the symbol and we convert the shape to graphic, and then we create a group for them. After creating the group for them, let's put the format painter for this particular kind of format to the symbol. So we go here and we have the 1 second format painter, and this format painter is I don't know, not working at the moment. So let's go and format the shape. So we do a gradient fill. Inside the gradient fill we change the color of the gradient just like before. So first gradient would be this one, and the second gradient would be this one, and this again has been converted just like the previous one icon, and we put it here. Now we need to put the margin number. So inside our table we go here, and we go to our net margins, because I have created it for your reference, total net margin. Now the size needs to be corrected, so this font and size, so the color is this one, and the font size is 24. This has been perfectly updated. This looks good. That's fine. Once we have done that, let's go to other metrics and other KPIs which we need to create. So the next KPI which is there for us to create is our top selling distribution system. So for that we will be changing our shape format. So we go to our shape format, we go to our change shape, and inside change shape let's select an arrow which will be, I can say, upward reflecting. We don't need these details at the moment. So this is the arrow which is showing the upward reflection, and we want to show our top selling product along with our top distribution system and top location. So we go here and just stretch it a little bit. Now yes, 1 second, give me a moment. Yes, so inside this we need to put our heading as a top selling product. So we copy the name and put it here as a top selling product. We fit the size, and our top selling product, we need to write the name as well as its value. So we go and insert a smaller line, and we just put the line here. Let's make the lines outline matching with our theme, so we put it here. Now let's show the value of our top selling product. So for that we need to bring the box here, text box here, and we bought it here. We press the equal again from here. Let's go here, and our top selling product is sorted inside this pivot table. and the revenue is being shown here. Again, the formatting is this one, which we have selected, and the size needs to be 24 if that is perfectly fitting the shape. Now let me just show you one another important aspect. One second. So now you can see that the top selling product is having the revenue of $22.1 million, and let's do one thing. Inside this top selling product, we need to write it inside the bracket as revenue, because this is reflecting the total revenue, and let's reduce the size so that it gets fit into the shape. So top selling product revenue, and we also want to put the name of the product. For that purpose, let's do one thing. Let's reduce the size to around 16, and put this number on the right side here, and the name of the product, or we can put it here and the name of the product on the top itself, or the number. One second. Then let's copy the text box here, and use the pivot table reference back. So the name of the product is Series Pro. We want the gradient and other details for this as well, so we go to our text options. We change the color for gradient, so the color for gradient at the moment would be updated. So one second, let me go and select that again, and we want the gradient fill. Inside gradient fill, we change the color, both of them. Now let's increase the size little bit, so the size has been increased to 14, and this is the product which is highest selling, which we have shown here. Perfect. Now this is showing the top selling product by revenue, which is having 22.1 million, and the product's name is Series Pro. If we go and take our, I can say, slicer of year, we will be able to see the impact of changes in year. So if we select 2024, 2025 and 2026, the products keep on changing based upon the selection of year, that what was our total selling product, and so on. Now let's do one thing. Let's select all of these elements and group them together. So we have grouped them. I think yes, these all have been grouped, but while grouping, one element has been missed, and this has gone to backside. So let's do one thing. Let's make it a little bit smaller. Yes, and let's bring it to front. Now let's select all these elements and let's group them together. So this time we group them, and these have been grouped correctly. This line is not there in the group, so let's put the line here and bring to front. One second, let's keep it here. Now let's bring to front. One second, bring to forward. Yes. Now selecting the line and the shape and grouping them together. Now the shape has been created. Similar to this shape, we need to create two more shapes for our top distribution system and top location. So we copy from here, we paste it here, and then we write top distribution system, and we need to go to our numbers here as well, and we need to show our top distribution system. So I have created another pivot table showing top distribution system and its revenue. So it's $55.5 million. I change the font to color to this one and increase the size to 24 as we are doing previously, but instead of 24, let's reduce its size to fit whatever we have done in previous shape. Now based on that, let's make it bold. Now change the name of the product as well. So currently the name of the product is showing as Series Pro, and we need to show the system through which this is getting sold. So I do it like this, and then the name is online. For this online as well, we need to create a gradient color. So we go to format shape, gradient fill, and we don't want to fill the shape as a gradient, so we go to text options, gradient fill, and now this has been converted to gradient. We can also increase its size a little bit so as to make it more inclined. Whatever is there, that's fine. After that, Finally, we need to create our last shape for the KPI, and this last shape would reflect our top location. So our top location, I will write it as top location revenue, and we will go and again select our top location revenue. So I have adjusted pivot table based upon, not adjusted at the moment, based upon location. So let's go to pivot table first and create a pivot table for location. So we create, copy these pivot tables, we paste them here. After pasting, let's go and update the location. So we go to show fields list and we write the location in the rows as well. Once we do that, let's go to and create our reference table. So I have created this, and that's fine. Also, we need to improvise the numbers, so just getting these correctly decimal placed, and this looks fine now. And now let's go to our dashboard, and our change of pivot table will be like this. Let's change its font to the color we preferred, make it bold, and increase its size so as to match other shapes as well. Similarly, we need to show the name of the country. So we go to our pivot table data again, and the name of, instead of country, this is like a geography area which we have selected. So we have shown that, and we go to format, and inside the text option we go for gradient fill, and that's done. So this location is our highest selling location, and we increase the size as well. Perfect. Now we have created these KPI matrix which are very helpful and essential for our dashboard. After that, we will be creating I can say a chart showing all the revenues from all the products in a bar graph. So we copy this particular shape, and we don't need the numbers and this I can say icon at the moment. So I just go and remove that. One second. Now we need to convert this shape into a square shape. So we go to shape format, edit shape, change shape, and the shape now has been converted to a square format. And we don't need this much of thick border. So what we will do, we will increase the size of inner shape a little bit, as you can see here. Once we do that, we will go and select both the shapes again. We go to align, and before aligning, let's do one thing. Let's ungroup them first. So these two shapes are here, and let's, one second, give me a moment. Without doing the ungroup, this is showing adjusted now. Let's go and increase its size. So we go here and we go below as well. Let's go a little bit below. One second. Yes, so we went below as well, and let me show the alignment of this entire dashboard. So this will look on a full screen, and let me just bring it up to here, and let's put a mark here, last line, so that we know that we don't need to go below this line for our dashboard, because our entire screen would be presented in this manner. After that, let's stretch it a little bit. So we stretched our dashboard. Perfect. Once we have done that, let's go to our pivot table, and we want to show entire sales revenue in a chart format and the numbers as well. So we go and select the data inside the, I can say, net sales area. Inside the net sales area, what we can do, we will go to insert, and there are recommended charts. So at this moment, we need this chart which is a bar chart. Once we select that chart, you can simply see that the revenue numbers are being shown here in a very precise manner. So we just don't need these grid lines at the moment. We don't want to show the numbers on the left. We also don't want this heading for this particular chart. We don't need this shape to be filled, so no fill is there. Also, we don't need the outline as well. At this moment, we don't need any other details, so we just go copy, instead of copy, cut this chart, paste the chart here, and inside this particular shape which we have created, let's feed in our chart, and Yes, we have feeded this chart inside here. Now once we have done that, now let's make the shapes round shapes for our purpose of analysis. So we go to insert and we select the shape. Instead of circle, let's go and select the rectangle. So we selected this rectangle and we don't need the borders, so we remove the no outline. And let's make the size of this rectangle fit to just like our chart border. So we go here and let's make it little bit rounded as well. So we have done that. Perfect. And let's reduce the size a little bit to here, and let's change its color, so that let's change its color a little bit. So we go and to match our format. So our format is having these kind of gray shades. So I select this color and we go to our chart, shape format, shape fill, and let me just fill the color which we have selected at the moment. So I have selected the color. Now once we have done that, let's copy and put in front of each bar graph. Let's go and do it on a small way. Let's go for a moment. Last two bar graphs are remaining. Yeah. Now let's go and select all the shapes together here, and let's group them together. So we have grouped them. After grouping them, let's send this shape to, I can say, backwards. So when I send it, these have been went to backwards, and entire data is showing through these I can say grid lines. Now chart lines. Let's go and change the bar colors. So we go and do the formatting, and we need to fill multiple kind of gradients inside these charts. So every line we will be filling all together different gradient. So we go and select on format data points. Inside this we will go to gradient fill, and the first and the last gradient which we need to feed in here, let's keep on choosing them, because we will be choosing different gradients. But let's go and select and try to see which gradient would look good. Let's do it like this. 1 second. We have selected the gradient. Let's go and select the same gradient across all the charts here as well. So we did the gradient fill as well. Once we have done that, let's go and insert our I can say data bars as well. So we select the chart, we go to chart design, we go to add elements, and we go to data labels, and there's an option to show an inside edge, outside edge, multiple kind of I can say data bar. So the outside end looks good. We selected them. When we selected the outside end, let's go and select them and let's format it. So the shape fill we can have is based upon what is called as our theme color. So the white looks good at the moment. And let's go and do one thing, that remove the decimal places, because we want to show the number in a very specific manner, and it will cover some area of chart, and leadership wants to know a high level data. So we go and remove the decimals. After that, let's go and select them again and go to format. We need to change the shape, so I'm selecting this oval. Once we select that, let's go to home and reduce, instead of size 9, let's make it size as 8, or I can say even 7, to have it have a better clarity on the numbers. We don't need the borders, so we go and remove the outlines. Also the background and the I can say color doesn't match with the theme at the moment, so we have selected them. We go to text options as well, we go to a gradient fill, and we want to show a higher version of gradient here. So the gradient is little bit darker, which we want to show. As you can see, that's perfectly fine. And let's 1 second. For the shape purpose, let's go to fill, and inside shape we want to have a solid fill. So we go to solid fill and let's go and select the color which may be matching to our theme. Let's take it a little bit lighter, which is white. I think white would be right to be selected. Again, make this data point as bold. This looks fine. Now once we have done that, let's go and select our background shapes here which we have created previously, and let's do one thing. Let's fill this with the white color, and once we have done that, you can see the chart is looking quite decent. And if we go to our pivot table and get our slicer for the year, so we go and select that and we cut it from here, and after that we put it at this place. Now if we keep on changing the year, our slider keep on changing based upon the sale of the product, and we can easily know which product has been sold at the highest sale value in an entire year. Now this looks good. So now let's insert our next dashboard KPI, or I can say card. For that I have copied our shape, and inside this shape we will be inserting our top selling products other details, just like the image specifically based upon the X lookup or V lookup which we will be selecting. So for that we are going to create a new sheet and we are writing its name as images. Inside that we are going to insert the pictures which I have already created. So for all the products I have created the pictures, and let's make the size of this picture as 4, and let's increase the size of our cells and columns so that these pictures fit in inside the rows and columns. So I just reduce it a little bit, and let's increase the size again as well. Now you can see that these pictures are getting fit into the cell, so I write it and I add another column here. Now let's go and paste these images inside each cell specifically. So this is inside the cell. Let's increase the size of cell a little bit. So this is inside the cell, this is inside the cell again, this is the third image, and this is the fourth image which is inside the cell, this is the fifth image, this is the sixth image, and then our podcast as a product, our smartwatch as a product, and after that our games, the image is there, and finally our series 13 product which is our smartphone, that also needs to be filled into this I can say cell. So let's bring that here, and it is now showing here. Once we have done that, let's give this exact name from our table. So we will be going to our table, and inside our table this is our earpods pro, and let's increase the size as well. So let's increase the size to 45, and this is our series 14. So I select the series 14. This is our series 15, so we select the series 15. This is series air, so we go and select series air. This is series mini, so series mini selected, series pro, and series pro is selected. After that this is a podcast, so we select the podcast. Then the smartwatch, our smartwatch is here. After that games, so we go and select games. After that series 13. So all the items have been selected now, and we just hard code these things because we don't need the formula at the moment. Once we have done that, let's connect our highest selling product with the name. So our highest selling product is having the name of series pro here, so we have created it. Now let's increase the size as well to 45. Now let's go to formula, and inside formula we are going to create a new name. So the name would be dashboard insert image, and inside that we will be using a formula of index and match. So I will be using index, and inside index we will be selecting the images series. Then I will write as match, and we want to match this series pro, which is our highest product, with the name inside this range. I will write 0 and then close parenthesis, and our dashboard insert has been created. Once that has been created, we will go here and we will copy this particular cell. I am not copying the image, but this is the cell. Then we will go to our dashboard. Inside our dashboard we will paste it here, as you can see. Once we paste it here, I think that it's image which has been copied. Let me just go to the cell again. This is the image and this is the cell. So I have copied the cell again, and I'm going to paste, but this time the paste would be the linked picture. So I have pasted the linked picture, and instead of having a static reference, we give it the reference which we have created, dashboard insert image, and we insert the same product inside the placeholder which we created. Now there are certain borders which are showing here, so we will go to our images tab and we will go to view and remove the grid lines. Now the grid lines have been removed. Similarly, the grid lines have been removed from here as well. Now we will create the same name header for this item, so we will say top selling product details. This is our top selling product. Now once we have done that, we'll go to a pivot table, we'll go to our pivot table analyzer, and we will insert slicer for year and month. Now we will cut both of these slicer. Once we cut them, we will paste them here, and let me just correct this patch, this color, yeah. Now let me just show you what happens when we select 2024. So when we select 2024, let me just auto hide this for a moment. When we select 2024, you can see our Series Pro is the top selling product with $8 million in revenue, and the details about that has been shown in the image. When we select 2025, again Series Mini this time is $8 million with the details of the product, and similarly in 2026 Series Pro is selling higher. If I select any particular month along with that, you can see in 2026 January our top selling product was Series 13 mobile phone. The details of that has been shown here. Similarly, if we keep on selecting February, March, April and month, so based upon the highest selling month and the selection of filters, our top selling products is getting reflected here. This is a cool thing which I like about Excel, that we can modify the things based upon our requirement. Once, so now let's create our final slicers for our dashboard, and you may see that these numbers might be changing of the overall net sales because I keep on updating the raw data based upon the dashboard requirement. Now let's go ahead and create our final slicers. For that reason, we'll go to our pivot table design, insert slicers, and we will insert our 3 slicers of year, month, and I can specifically say location or region. Once we insert them, let's cut them all, and 1 second, and put them on the dashboard. These all 3 slicers are shown on the dashboard now, and let's do one thing. Let's copy this shape from here and delete the top front. We need this particular shape as the base for our slicer, and let's make it a little bit aligned. Now let's stretch it a little bit below so it covers our entire I can say dashboard, and let's remove this last line word from here. Now this looks good. After that, we need to format the slicers based upon our theme. So you can go to our previous video which is highlighted on above and see how these slicers can be modified. I have modified them for now, so you can see I have modified this slicer based upon our theme. And what I can do, I can send the shape to backwards, or instead of sending it backwards, let's send it to back. Now you can see our locations have been showing here. Similarly, our month, we are updating its format based upon our theme, and you can see that video above and in the description as well, which you can refer. Once we have done that, let's go and create the column arrangement for them. So we want to show these years at the top, so we'll be showing this in 3 columnar format, so you can see it right here. After that, we need to show our months, so we'll be showing 3 months in a column, so there will be altogether month details which is here. And finally, we will be showing our locations, so we need to show our 2 locations in one time, so locations have been updated as well. Once we have done that, let's go a little bit below, and let me drag it a little below. 1 second. So this become our year, this become our months, and finally this become our location for selection of location. Now let's go and insert one single line which will clear demarcation between these things. So we insert this line, and let's have the outline color as based on theme color. So this is creating a demarcation here. We copy and we paste the line here again as well. And let's do one thing. Let's insert our logo and the design for our dashboard and the name and details for the dashboard. So we go to insert again, we go to pictures and this device, and we want a transparent logo. So this is our transparent logo, and we want to show it without border, so I just change its color and so that matches to theme. Now if you see, we put it here, so this is our logo. Now let's give the details about this dashboard. So what this dashboard does, so this is the gadgets company finance metric dashboard. This is giving a clear description about what the company exactly does. And let me just put the details here. Let's make it in the center. And after making it in the center, we don't need the background, so we don't need the shape outline. We remove the outline, and no fill is here. And now let's stretch it a little bit, make it bold, and let's increase its size from 11 to 14, and let's align it again back to what is our requirement here. This looks fine. And let's do one thing. Let's put the logo here. So this is aligned. This is our month. These are our years. This is our baseline here, and these are our location. This looks good. Yes. Now, if I create an entire page view, now you can see, and this is not perfectly aligned. Now this is in the center of it, and let's make it a little bit smaller because the edges, when they are blank too much, it doesn't look good. So this is a gadgets company finance metric, and we will be writing other details as well. That what kind of details will be found inside this dashboard. So it will cover the, I can say, net sales, our net margins, top selling product, top distribution system, our top location, and net sales by products, and finally top selling product details. These all have been inserted inside this chart. So let's go and reduce its size a little bit. So let's make it 11 size, and let's go and have the formatting for it in a while. So I go here and increase its size. Let's make it size to 11, and want to have these details aligned on the left. So let me do an alignment on the center instead of left, and yeah, that's fine. And let's reduce this looks good. Once we have done that, instead of writing the, okay, that looks good. We don't need to update it much. And now we will be inserting our final details here, which is our blank area about what this company does. So let's insert a text box, and let's copy the text box from above and then bring it here. Let's fill in the details about what this company does. Let me bring it here. So this is a multi geography gadgets company which deals in mobile phones, tablets, wearables, and other digital products. And these details we created, and let's reduce the size to 11 and remove the bold. We don't want to show the details in a bold format. And we need to add more details here. So the year of establishment was 2020. Which year we started? Let's see, about 2024, with a small YouTube channel, instead of YouTube channel, with a small garage. And now it's present in more than 4 geography. We have inserted the basic details of the chart here. Now this looks fine. Now let's see the final shape. So we open the chart. Inside this chart, if I go and unfilter all the line items, so you can see the company's net sales is showing net margins and other details as well. If I select specifically Jan month, so we can see in the Jan month series 13 have been sold most, as you can see, and $4.9 million was the highest selling value. Similarly, you can see inside the chart series 13 was the highest selling, but below that there were multiple products which are shown here. If we remove the filter and we select 2026, so all the details can be seen again. And we can also go and select the location. So if we want to see in Americas, what are the total sales of products, and all these net sales, net margin, and other details keep on changing based upon selection of this location. Similarly, we can go and select in Europe what was the highest selling product and what was the total value. So I hope you like this, and if you like this, please share our channel. And thank you so much for watching it.